Precisely 1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Ramesh Piris and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. Airports to open for all commercial flights from January 22nd. The Defence Secretary says naval operations will be enhanced further. The total count of COVID-19 cases reported in Sri Lanka on the rise. The report into the unrest at the Mahara prison to be presented to the Cabinet of Ministers today. The Foreign Minister calls on the Cuban ambassador to extend best wishes on the Cuban National Day. And on news overseas, global coronavirus cases reach 84.8 million. Sports, cricket, Sri Lanka tour of South Africa's second test, unbeaten second wicket partnership sees South Africa overhauling tourists. Local news in detail now. The State Minister Nima Lansa says measures will be taken to reopen airports for all commercial flights from January 22nd. He said that the airport would be open under the special supervision of the health sector while focusing on the country's economy. The chief epidemiologist, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, also stated that opening airports in accordance with health guidelines will not be an issue. Dr. Samaravira said tourism is a huge boost to the country's economy, hence there is an urgent need to restart the tourism industry. However, he noted that we must do so in a way that does not allow the COVID-19 infected persons to roam freely in the country. Another 188 individuals have tested positive for COVID-19, increasing the number of cases recorded in the country to 44,774. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 recoveries recorded in the country increased to 37,252 after 535 COVID-19 patients recovered and were discharged from hospitals during the past 24 hours. 7,309, including 3 foreign nationals, are currently receiving treatment for coronavirus at 63 facilities across the country. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka's death toll from the coronavirus pandemic went up, with 2 more deaths caused by the virus being reported to 213. The report compiled by the committee appointed to look into the unrest reported at the Mahara prison on the 29th of November last year is due to be presented to the Cabinet of Ministers today. The Secretary to the Ministry of Justice, MMPK Mayaduna, said the recommendations in the relevant report are expected to be implemented promptly. The Minister of Justice appointed a 5-member committee chaired by retired High Court Judge Kusala Sarojini Veerawardena to probe the matter. The final report of the committee was handed over to the Justice Minister on the 30th of December. 11 inmates died in the unrest reported at the Mahara prison. The Foreign Minister, Dinesh Gunawardena, called on Cuban ambassador in Sri Lanka, Juana Elena Ramos Rodriguez, at the Cuban embassy in Colombo on the Cuban National Day, which fell on the 1st of January, and extended their best wishes to the Cuban government. The minister expressed his gratitude towards the Cuban government on behalf of the government of Sri Lanka for the Cuban support in the COVID-19 pandemic in Sri Lanka. The Sri Lanka-Cuba Friendship Association and a group of representatives from several political parties graced the occasion. The report compiled by the committee looking into the tremors reported in Digana, Kandy, is due to be handed over to the Secretary of the Ministry of Environment, Dr. Anil Jasinghe, today. The head of the committee, chairman of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, Anura Valpala, said the report includes the causes for the tremors as well as recommendations for further action to be taken. Tremors were reported in the vicinity of Digana on 5 occasions between the months of September and November last year. The 12-member committee was appointed to specifically look into the impact the tremors may have had on the Victoria Reservoir. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. Continuing with more stories here at home. The construction work of the Kalutara Millennium Water Supply Project, proposed as a measure to solve the acute drinking water shortage, commenced recently. Residents in the Kalutara district who face an acute water shortage, especially during the drought period, have appealed to the government to provide fresh drinking water to consumers. Residents also complained that the water shortage has been confounded with salt water flowing into the Kaluganga during the drought. Hence, the government has commenced the project with a cost of 6.5 million rupees. Around 300 families are to benefit after completion of the project. The former parliamentarian Vinayagamurthy Muralidharan says a new political front will be formed to face the forthcoming provincial council elections. He noted that there is a need for a leadership to uplift the living standards of the Tamil people. He added that the Tamil National Alliance has lost the power in the Jaffna district in order to serve the requirements of the Tamil people. He pointed out recent events where the TNA lost control of the Jaffna Municipal Council. The TNA-led council lost budget proposal thrice, hence lost the control of the council. At present, a new mayor for the Jaffna Council has been elected with the support of the EPDP. Consequently, TNA lost the Nallur Pradesha Sabha. Meanwhile, a meeting took place in Vavuniya with the participation of M.A. Sumandiran, Gajendra Kumar Ponnambalam and C.V. Vigneshwaran. It was purported that discussions were centered around a new proposal to be forwarded to the UNHRC. In response to the United Nations' recent reclassification of strict control measures applied on cannabis plants, a local indigenous medical body today urged the government to ease the laws on ganja to be developed as a medicinal drug in the future. Samasta Lanka Indigenous Medical Association, addressing a press briefing, said it was high time the government consider relaxing and reintroducing laws pertaining to cannabis in the country, which could pave the way to utilize it for medicinal purposes as done in the Ayurveda for centuries. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Defense Secretary Retired General Kamal Gunaratne says the security of the country is being carried out according to a well-laid-out plan. He made this comment participating in the Subharati program conducted by the SLBC this morning. General Gunaratne added that the powers vested with the Sri Lankan Navy will be enhanced to conduct raids on narcotic coming into the country via the sea route. He acknowledged the immense contribution made by the police in conducting island-wide raids on contraband. The general assured that an intelligence network is in place to identify narcotic operations, and despite the challenges faced, he will act to stop the narcotics trade as well as activities of the underground criminal network.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Several tourist attractions in Sigiri and Polonnaruwa will be closed for local tourists today and tomorrow after 12 p.m. as Ukrainian tourists are scheduled to visit those locations. The Central Cultural Fund said in a statement that several locations in the Polonnaruwa tourist zone managed by the fund will be closed for local tourists. The statement also said the decision was taken to mitigate the risk to the public to prevent the spread of the disease.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines. Global coronavirus cases reaches 84.8 million. Pelosi re-elected as the U.S. House Speaker amid political uncertainty. The UN says the Central African Republic rebels seize Bangassou. World news in detail. The total number of confirmed coronavirus cases in the world has risen to 84.8 million. Data compiled by Johns Hopkins University in the United States show that of yesterday, global infections totaled 84.8 million. The death toll worldwide was 1.8 million. They show that the United States had the largest number of infections with 20.4 million. India was second with 10.3 million cases, followed by Brazil with 7.7 million cases, Russia with 3.2 million cases, and France with 2.7 million cases. The number of deaths was the highest in the US at 350,598. It was the second highest in Brazil with 195,725, followed by India with 149,435, Mexico at 126,851, and Italy at 75,332. Nancy Pelosi was narrowly re-elected Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives on Sunday as a new Congress took office amid political uncertainty, with Senate control undecided and a Republican fight looming over presidential election results. The House voted 216-209 to reinstate Pelosi after Democrats lost 11 seats in the November elections to command a narrower 222-212 majority. Pelosi said the beginning of the new Congress during a time of extraordinary difficulty and noted the deaths of more than 350,000 Americans from the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally, on world news, the United Nations mission says rebel forces have seized a southeastern city in the Central African Republic. The UN officials said the rebels staged a dawn raid and were now everywhere in Bangassou, adding that the fighting is continuing in several parts. A rebel coalition has attacked several towns in recent weeks and currently controls 2/3 of the country. They accuse the government of holding a fraudulent election on the 27th of December. The government has denied allegations of poll rigging. Initial results of the election for president and seats in the National Assembly are expected today. That's on World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
And on development news, the first phase of the project to construct 5,000 housing units for middle-income families commences today. The Ministry of Urban Development and Housing said under the first phase, 3,000 houses will be constructed in Orgodawata, Bloemendal, Malabe, Makambura and Borlaskamo in the Colombo district. Young entrepreneurs, teachers, doctors and bank officials will be able to receive houses under this project. Meanwhile, state banks will provide loans to purchase these homes at an interest rate of 6.25% for a period of 25 years. That's on development news. Moving on to sports news now. Cricket. Sri Lanka tour of South Africa's second test. Unbeaten second wicket partnership sees South Africa overhauling tourists. Dean Elgar and Rassie van Dusen will continue day 2 with an unbeaten second wicket partnership, which will see South Africa overhauling the tourist first innings total. South Africa were 148 for 1, trailing Sri Lanka by 9 runs with 9 wickets remaining. Elgar is on 95 and van der Dusen is on 40. Meanwhile, at stumps on day 2 of the second match, Pakistan's tour of New Zealand, the hosts are trailing by 11 runs in their first innings reply, with 286 runs for the loss of 3 wickets in reply to Pakistan's score of 297. Kane Williamson and Henry Nicholls closed the day's proceedings at the crease with 112 and 89 runs respectively. And moving on to business news now. Sri Lanka will set up state-owned enterprise named National Salt Company to run salt pan in the northern province. There is already an existing SOE called Manta Salt Limited. Elephant salt pans also in the north will be brought under the SAIL enterprise, and it will be renamed as National Salt Company. The Cabinet Ministers had approved a proposal by the Minister of Industries to rename Mantai Salt Limited National Salt Company and transfer Elephant Pass Salt to the company.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. It will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And on economic news, the Trade Minister Bandula Gunawardena says the government will set up a commercial trading hub in Mihintale to cater to 10 districts in the northern half of the country while decentralizing the Colombo-based trade monopoly. The minister added that it would be a multi-purpose trading center with facilities for wholesale trading of essential items. He said a landmass adjacent to the Mihintale railway station have been identified for the project. A discussion in this regard was conducted recently with the political leaders representing the district.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And on the weather update, prevailing showery condition over the eastern and over parts of the island is expected to continue further due to the atmospheric disturbance in the vicinity of Sri Lanka. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the northern, eastern, north central, Uva and central provinces and in Hambantota district. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the eastern and Uva provinces and in Polonnaruwa, Matale, Nuwara and Hambantota districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere in the afternoon. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamu and western provinces and in Galle and Matara districts. That's on the weather update, and with that we conclude this bulletin of news, and it's back to Niranjan.